It has been exactly 1 year since I fully switched to Linux, and I am obligated to tell you about it. The biggest misconception about Linux users is that they enjoy tinkering. I honestly don't, at least not when it comes to my primary workstation. I'm just tired of seeing the disgusting state of modern tech, with deceptive practices, intrusive software, and disingenuous crap. Because of that, I want to wholeheartedly embrace open computing and open source software as much as possible going forward. To preface this, my relationship with the Linux desktop is fairly unique. Even though I am decently experienced with it, having used it in several environments, in programming, and knowing its user space extensively at a low level, I still approach my desktop conservatively. Like, I have been using Linux on and off for a decade at this point, but I fully switched my main desktop last year. Generally, I don't want to use the terminal every 5 seconds for basic tasks unrelated to programming. When I sit down to watch a video on my free time, I don't want to debug 20 broken packages or write config files. So you would say choose a user-friendly distro. I mean, I tried Ubuntu, which was a total mess. It just refused to be dual-booted properly, and had these useless snap packages, which always cause trouble to everyone. Seriously, I don't understand why Canonical doesn't just get rid of them. Every single video I have seen where people try them out, they break. Ubuntu also has a lot of issues with the way it installs the bootloader. It took me a whole day to get working, which is simply unacceptable. There is stuff like Linux Mint, which is really solid, and Fedora, which is my personal recommendation to beginners. Fedora has very recent packages, and it's just a joy to use. I had an old disk backup with Arch Linux, so after getting thoroughly rage-baited by Ubuntu and its snaps, I decided to restore that ancient backup. What matters for having a good experience is the desktop environment one chooses, and you can install almost any of them on all Linux distros. Some even let you choose before downloading. The distro itself is what determines how frequently you get updates, how ancient your packages will be, and how difficult installing the OS will be. Okay, enough throwing shade at Ubuntu. Tell everyone what you ended up choosing in the comments. It's great to hear your odd choices. As far as my desktop environment went, I chose KDE Plasma, inside which I recreated my Windows desktop. KDE has great graphical applications for everyday tasks, with user interfaces that put Windows to shame. Seriously, spend a day or two using KDE, and you will find Windows UIs to be laggy, sluggish, and just slow in general. The defaults are great, and you can customize it extensively if that is what you're into. I just put my taskbar on top and made the colors a bit darker. Now let's dig a bit deeper. You know what I have noticed? New people trying out Linux always struggle on the same thing, and that is either auto-mounting hard drives or remote network storage. That is something completely logical in my opinion, since there is no graphical application for managing FSTab entries, which can be a little annoying. Things get even more annoying if you have encrypted volumes, but I digress. That is something which I would like to see get added to system preferences or to tools like gparted. Also, a cool utility to manage processes and services is Mission Center, which you can easily install as a Flatpak. On the topic of installing stuff, here's the quickest way to do that, which is my personal favorite. Open up your browser and go to your distro's online repository search site. Here, put in the package you want, note down the exact name, and installing using the terminal. If it isn't on that index, you can use FlatHub, where you literally copy-paste the command into the terminal. App stores work too, but I like this approach more. Video editing with DaVinci Resolve works great, although installing it was a huge pain. I had to set up a Docker container just to run it, and a whole bunch of codecs just don't work. Despite that, I have edited the past few videos fully inside Linux, which has been great. For photo editing, Adobe Photoshop runs inside Wine, but I did some experimentation and broke it. As far as gaming goes, I didn't play many games, but the few I played did work. I was able to run the whole Counter-Strike franchise and Gmod. Same with some old games under Wine. I mean, what else does one need? For programming, it is obviously the best option by far. Everything works natively without any subsystems or virtual machines as one would expect. There's a reason we use Linux everywhere, on servers and critical systems. Once you get stuff running, Linux doesn't really get in your way much. It just becomes a fully functional desktop that runs faster than Windows, doesn't bother you with AI slop, ads, or any anti-consumer practices. Funnily enough, it is way more stable than Windows, even though I chose a rolling release distro, meaning that I get the very latest versions of packages. This time, what made my experience shine was Wayland, something which we did not have a few years back. Wayland made everything feel smooth and brought the Linux desktop to a rendering level closer to Windows, especially for high refresh rate displays. Don't even get me started on the issues Xorg has with odd display resolutions and the like. It generally feels freeing to not depend on microslop or whoever. Linux brings back sovereignty over your desktop, giving you full control over every aspect of it. It is not locked down and does not turn against you. There is no dump at the station or forced online accounts or anything like that. Closing this off, I believe that with tech's current trajectory, we will all at some point have to fully switch to open software, unless one enjoys getting constantly spied on and abused by their own machines. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and join our community. And until the next one, stay safe everybody.